Hello and welcome. This is Ruth, and today I have the beautiful Winter's Veil collection to share with you from Tonic Studios. I'm going to have a look through all of this, show you it in a little bit of detail, and then we'll go on to making something hopefully really pretty with it. The colours are just a dream, and if you know me, if you've been in my channel before, you'll know that I absolutely love these colours. They're aqua, turquoise, teal, silver, grey, blues. Just gorgeous. So let's have a quick look through the paper pads first of all. This is 18 sheets of 200 GSM cardstock, and there are 2 each of 9 double-sided designs, and this is the 12 by 12 pack. So what have we here? Even just looking at the front of that, I'm quite sure that the front part of this package could be used as well. You can use these pieces to cut out, to fussy cut. You could use this. You know, don't waste anything. On the back here, you'll see as well, if you haven't already cut it, you can use the little tag die set that came along earlier there, and I'll put a little link to that down below as well. But that will cut out all these little tags for you too. A lot of the work's already done for you here. Firstly, in the coordination, which is just brilliant, and then obviously with having these all set out. But I was thinking as I looked through this that even if you're not a die cutter, if you're sort of a starter crafter, or if you've been crafting for a while but you just don't do die cutting, there's loads of elements within this set that you could use to make your cards without even resorting to die cutting, because you could fussy cut, you could just plainly use your guillotine and cut out lots of these pieces. You could use punches, all sorts of things, and you don't even have to have a die cutting machine for it. But look, double-sided, beautiful big snowflakes. Now have a look here too. I want you to notice on the way through, this one can be used anytime, not just for Christmas. There are several like that right through this actually. You have a little look. This, oh, isn't that absolutely gorgeous? Wouldn't that be beautiful on a great big scrapbook page? Or you could cut the center part out of it and use that separately. That doesn't have to be for Christmas. You could fussy cut some of these elements at the top or the bottom, and look at that. And that. Again, not for Christmas, but absolutely beautiful any time of the year. And then this one has a little sentiment right across it as well, so you could cut this and you don't even have to put an extra sentiment on. And I think this is going to be an absolutely fabulous background for all sorts of things, so definitely not just for Christmas. And a beautiful leaf one on here too. Now I'm just looking at that. That doesn't necessarily have to be for Christmas either. So gorgeous snowflakes. Well, wouldn't that be beautiful? Just cut straight along, and a DL card in landscape orientation. Absolutely gorgeous. But you could add glitters and all sorts of things onto the top of that if you want, but it's stunning just the way it is. And then a starry one, that would be lovely on a baby boy card. This one is beautiful for all sorts of things, even a fairy card or something like that. And then gorgeous big snowflakes there, and then this part in the center, and then we're back to the beginning because we have repeats of those as well. Now the 8x8 paper pad has some extra details on it. So if we look here, there are actually 36 sheets in this one, so that's an awful lot of card. It's 200 GSM as well, so that is absolutely fabulous. 8x8, 3 sheets of 3 double-sided designs, 3 each of 3 luxurious silver foil designs, and I can see those peeping out already there. Look at that. Can you see that? Acid-free and lignin-free 12 foil tags and stamps to use with the tags and stamps die set. And there you are. Those are foiled on this one. What do you think? Gorgeous. So then we've got the same designs that you have on the larger pad, only these are shrunk down to fit 8x8 pad. But then when you come to the back, you have these fabulous foil designs. And this one with the foiled sentiments on it. I hope that's catching pretty well in the photo there in the camera, but they're really, really stunning. Again, The patterns are absolutely ideal just for making quick cards as well. Christmas time sort of lends itself to batch making, and you can sort of make a lot of cards at one time if you're making these in a hurry, or you can even just take a while and spend some time doing that. Now, these are 4 sheets of 200 GSM foiled toppers. So you can see all the sparkle and shine on there. And look, so you've got 2 of this one and then 2 of this one. So you've got lots of sentiments there. You've got bigger sentiments, smaller ones that you could even cut out and put on here, on these ones. And then dreaming of a white Christmas. 'Tis the season. May your Christmas sparkle. And then lots of little designs down here as well. I absolutely love these. Not only just the pattern, the little stags and deer, but the colours as well. So beautiful. Now we've got some foil fusion sheets as well. These are really, really beautiful with Tonic's foil fusion craft. I'm going to lift these out and we'll have a closer look. So you rub these down and then you can use this beautiful foil over the top. If I don't get around to showing you that in this video, I do have some videos showing that previously in different ones as well, so I'll link to that down below. I just don't know at this minute how much I'm going to get through in this video at all, but I'll do my best. There's a beautiful stamp set here. This is a big 6x8 stamp set, and it's mostly snowflakes, Christmas trees, lots of sentiments here. Snowflake kisses and wishes, merry and bright, happy holidays, may your Christmas sparkle, winter wishes and let it snow. And then this beautiful stag here. And I just noticed last night when I had a little look at this die set, lifting this up, there is a little die in there that cuts this stamped stag out as well. So there's the stag and there's the die that cuts that out. Then we've got the Christmas tree and the Christmas tree die that cuts that out, and all sorts of things, snowflakes and whatnot. So moving on then to the die set, we have this beautiful big snowflake, and wouldn't that be beautiful if you cut that out maybe 4 or 6 times, scored it down the center and joined the sides together and made a big hanging 3D snowflake. Really, really beautiful. Then this makes a lovely little village, and you can stagger those up, layer them up and stagger them. And then this makes a beautiful slit across the card that makes well, I'm saying a slit, this actually is to make a little mound or a little hill that would go below here. But I was thinking if you made a slider card, which I've done in previous videos, and again I'll link to that because the same concept could be used. You can use this as the area where you would put the slider in as well and make a little slit with that. And this beautiful tree, that is really, really beautiful. It cuts the outline out separately and then it cuts these pieces individually, and you can layer them onto that. So hopefully we'll get back to have a look at that as well. There is also a really gorgeous stencil here, and I should actually just lift this out and make you see that closer. This stencil has snowflakes up at the top and then trees at the bottom, and you don't have to use them all in the one card. You can sort of mask it off and you can use the trees, or you can use these, or you can just use individual pieces if you just want a snowflake or two sort of here and there across your card. But isn't that really beautiful? And I'm just wondering, yes, you could maybe layer some of these dies up as well on top of that. So lots and lots of scope for that. Lastly, but not least at all, 3 absolutely stunning embossing folders. So these are 3D embossing folders, and this one here is probably my favourite, but closely followed by these two. A gorgeous wood grain effect. It's called the wooden texture, and that can definitely be used for all sorts of things after Christmas and after winter even. But wouldn't that be so beautiful cut out of mirror card or satin card, because it'll show up all of those effects. Absolutely beautiful inked as well. And the same goes for these. Beautiful backgrounds that you could just make very, very quick cards with by making those backgrounds and adding some of the toppers from that topper sheet as well. Now, I have actually gone ahead and had a quick look. Well, let's see where we'll start. I've just had a little root through some of my Craft Perfect items. There's lots of sparkle sprays and mica sprays, dream drops, stone drops, vintage drops, jewel drops and crystal drops that will all look absolutely beautiful with that. And then I've got a quick look through my card stash, and we've got all sorts of things here that are going to work really, really well with that. Now, if you really like this and you want to buy it or want to buy any elements from it, I'll have my affiliate links down below in the description of the video, and I'll get a little commission from that, but it's the same price for you. It doesn't cost you anything extra at all to use that. So thanks very much for everybody who does already do that. And also, if you'd like to subscribe, that would really help my channel along. Subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, and then you'll see lots more videos coming up. Now, another thing, there is the Very Festive Fair collection, and there's also the Candy Cane Christmas collection as well. I'll put links down to those, but you don't necessarily have to stick to just pieces from this one all together. You can mix and match lots of elements from them as well, because all of these will mix and match with all of the others as well. The colours may be different, but certainly the elements like the stamps and dies, embossing folders and whatnot, certainly all work together. That's enough. I'm going to go and die cut some of this and do some embossing, and I'll be right back. I went ahead a little bit there and embossed some of these cards. Look at that. That's a sort of satin effect silver with the wood grain. And then this is a pearlescent card in the snowflake one, and mirror card in the big snowflake one. Aren't they fantastic just for backgrounds on their own? And then a little panel just on plain white. And I just want to show you this. That is actually just as beautiful on one side as the other. So I'm not even too sure what I'll do with that one yet, but I just wanted to see what it looked like. I'm going to ink over the top of it, I'm sure. But I had a little idea that I thought this might be nice as well. So I've taken the wood grain paper, and I've actually embossed that with the wood grain embossing folder, and it does look really, really good. And that might look good with an extra little bit of ink over the top of it as well. So I thought this would be really nice as the front panel for a card. So I've taken an A4 sheet of card, I've folded and scored it right down the centre, and now I'm going in at that middle fold. I'm putting it into my trimmer here, and I've got my blade on here, and I'm going to go in 5 centimeters from each side, just right in there. Just mark it at 5 and go out, even might be easier. And then we've got 21 here, so I'm going to go to 16 and out to the edge there. And now what I want to do is remove this piece the whole way down here and leave myself just with a panel. So I'll pop this back in again, and we'll go down here, and I'll just line that up and remove this piece. I cut 2 panels then to go inside the card, and this is spearmint green in the back, and then the beautiful paper from the paper pad on top. So this one is 20 centimeters by 14, and the top one then is 19.5 by 13.5 centimeters. And then I have a panel here ready to go onto the front of this. So it's the same length and just a little bit shorter than this one. So it is the spearmint then is 10.5 by 14. And this one then is 10 by 13.5, and that's the embossed card on there as well. So the embossing folder on the actual wood grain paper. I have little strips of that left from what I embossed there, so I'm going to hold on to that because that might be really nice, even just as a little strip across a card as well. So waste not, want not. Hold on to those little bits. I'm going to glue that on top of there. Now that would be beautiful inked, as I said, but because I haven't inked the background, I need to keep this sort of matching that. So just go ahead and glue that down, and then we'll create the topper on top of that. I wanted some little glitter snow mounds across the bottom of this, so I took this little die and I just set it on a piece of card, just like that. Actually made a sort of a bigger angle on it there. I did it on some glitter card, and then I just cut it to sort of fit directly on here. And I've got some 3D foam pads on that one, and I've made another one that's a little bit shallower just for a little bit of variation on it. And oops, daisies, I've I've taken the wrong lid off my glue. I'm just going to add some glue onto the back of this one, keep it flat to the card, and then put the other one on the 3D foam pads. And I need to just work out where this one's going to go first, because you don't want any of the ends peeping out from there. So round about there. And then I can add this one on the pads. Now I have cut out 3 of the trees, and you can see there I've already added some of the glitter parts back on. So I'm going to put one here and then these 2 others in behind, just slightly lower down, and I'm going to show you the glitter parts here. So the background is in green, and then these parts here just get glued on the bases here. So each part at the side here sort of corresponds, as you can see there, to one of these little layers. It's quite easy. So I've left them in my die just until I can get them glued on. Now I've got one of the little foiled toppers, and I've actually just trimmed it slightly to make it a little bit smaller, and I've got 3D foam pads on the back of that, and that goes up there. Now I thought I would like to add another little bit of detail just onto the back here, so I'm going to take just a mixture of drops. I've got some dream drops here, and these are Frosted Lake, and I'm going to add some of those onto this background area here. I hope you can see that there, but the dream drops look really, really beautiful. They're lovely and sparkly, but you could add crystal drops or jewel drops or whatever you like onto it. And I've put some onto the top of the trees as well. Now in behind here, I would probably be putting either a circle of white card or even a Christmas tree shape or a snowflake, but just a plain white part where you would be writing your message to whoever you're sending the card to. So there you are. Now, this next card could not be quicker and easier. I've taken this embossing folder here, and I've used the Turkish turquoise mirror card, and it's really, really gorgeous. I've backed it onto some grey card, and I'm going to just glue it directly down onto the card base. That's a 5x7 card base, and I've just trimmed these panels to fit on there. I always like to have 2 layers because it makes the card a bit sturdier, and it also shows this turquoise off, and it makes it look just a bit more finished. Now I have gone for the beautiful big snowflake dies this time, so I've cut this one, the background one, out in vellum, and that's just vintage white. You could use ordinary white if you wanted. And then I've cut this one out in sugar crystal glitter card. Now I just want to show you a little thing. That's what that looks like when they're both layered up there and when it's on white. But when I put it onto the turquoise, the vellum takes on a bit of the colour of the turquoise. If I was to put that on the green, that's going to show through there. So isn't that really beautiful? And you can use that for all different kinds of effects. Now I'm going to pop it into more or less the centre of the card, and obviously then because it's vellum, I want to be sure that I'm only getting my glue on areas where the glitter card is over the top of it. So I just put it here. And then I've taken another little topper sentiment from the sentiment sheet, and there it is. I've lost my words today, and I'm just going to pop that there and put this right across the center of the snowflake. Now another thing I should say is that I have attached the mirror card onto the classic card with this self-adhesive tape, because if you put glue right around the outside of this, you're going to get a very, very fine ripple or a little line showing, and I don't like that, so I always use double-sided tape to attach that. If you've watched me before, you'll know I always say that. You're probably tired listening to it, but it does bear repeating. Isn't that lovely? Very quick and easy. I'm going to make a 6x6 card this time, so I've got my white card blank ready, and I've cut some grey card here. That is pewter grey, and that's 14 centimeters square, and then I've taken this beautiful piece of paper from the pad, and that is 13.5 centimeters square. But before I add that on, I wanted to add a little bit of foiling. I thought that this would be really beautiful across the top of it. So I'm going to cut that off, and then I'm going to cut that off, and then I'm going to foil that in some silver foil. So there we are. Now, all you need to do is peel the backing off this, like that. Set this directly down wherever it is you want it. And then you can burnish that down with the back of your bone folder. You can then remove this piece, and now it's ready to add on the foil. I've got my foil here, and I'm just going to cut a piece off to go across here. So here, and I can lay that down foil side up right across there. Now it doesn't matter if this is too big, because I can use bits and pieces of this on other projects afterwards. So all I have to do now is burnish all this down here, and you can actually see the little stars or snowflakes appearing on the card there, right through on the foil. Now I'm just going to glue this panel straight onto the card, and then I've taken one of the toppers, which was Dreaming of a White Christmas. That's foiled as well, so that matches in with this foiling. And I have just cut out a little piece of silver satin card, backed it onto that, and I've got 3D foam pads on the back of that, and I'm going to attach that right into the middle here. I've got some of these little snowflake toppers, and I've just added 3D foam pads on parts of them there because I want to overlap this. So you can see they're going directly on here, and the glue is going directly on the card. And I'm just going to add 2 up at the top and 2 down at the bottom. I'm going to use this beautiful stencil this time, and I've got some of this glimmer paste. So this is actually moonstone, and it's white. So I will do the top of this white, but I want to do the trees in a different colour. And if you don't have the colour that you want, but you do have a sparkle spray or something like that, this one is called Peacock Plume. I'm going to spray a little bit of this into here, and then add some of the moonstone glimmer paste and mix that up a little bit. But first of all, I want to add the white right across the top. I dried that off with the heat gun, and then I took one of the sentiments from the toppers again with the beautiful foiled sentiment on it saying "Let it snow," and put it up there. And I've backed it onto some grey card because I think the grey looks really beautiful. It's a really beautiful offset or a foil behind that. And I'm just going to glue that directly onto a 6x6 card. And you can see here, you know by now I was never going to waste that. That's going to get used on another card very, very soon. And you can let me know down in the comments below if you've ever done that with plain colours of your glimmer paste or any other different mediums that you use, because that's a really, really good way to extend the colours if you haven't got every colour you want. It doesn't necessarily have to be sparkle spray like I used here. You can add all kinds of Nuvo drops. In fact, even if you just put out some alcohol marker onto a flat surface, a non-porous surface, of course, even like your glass mat, and pick it up with the, well, actually you would put the alcohol marker down first and add some of this on top, and then pick it up and mix it with your spatula. You're going to get a different colour from that as well. So I hope you have enjoyed that. And there's my lovely sparkly card. Now, I had these little houses cut out and I was going to make a card with them, but I think I'm going to change the colour because I've decided to go for blue. But isn't that really lovely there? And it's actually lovely against the blue, but I'm going to use these two papers together. So I've got a 6x6 card and I'm going to cut a circle, and that one is, let's see, that's 10.5 centimetres in diameter, but something similar to that would do. And then I've actually got a slightly bigger circle here, and I'm going to cut a circle out of this to go on the card on the inside here, directly behind the aperture. So first of all, I'm going to cut this, then I'm going to cut some little houses to go across that aperture. Can you see there how I got this little hillock just below the houses? I actually put the die down first with the houses on, and then you can cut that through and then just go back in with this little slit one. Now, it's not the exact match of the underneath of the houses, but it's close enough, and it means then that I can nip this out and cut it to whatever size I need for the little card. And I've got a kind of a little hillock with the houses on it, a little wavy line anyway, like that, because that's what I want to go across here. Now I've got exactly the same shape in a different card, so that's the Silky Sky pearlescent card, satin effect card, and I'm just going to offset that so it's drop it slightly down and over to the right, and I'm going to go ahead and glue that on there, and it gives a lovely little grey shadow. And I'm not sure if you can see it properly there, but you can actually see it in real life, and I'll show you whenever the card's finished. I die cut some of the snowflakes there, so I've cut the big ones and the small ones from that die set, and I've added them right around the aperture there. So just two different dies, and I thought that looked really, really nice. I've now got my glitter gloss shimmer pen, and I'm going to add some shimmer just to the snow here. It's a very sort of delicate effect, but it's very nice, and I'm just going to do it on the roofs of the little houses and on the tops of some of the trees. And then when I finish that, I think I might actually add some of this to some of the leaves on this card as well. Well, that's 5 cards made, and I really could have made so much more, but don't you just love those colours? Well, I hope you do, because I do, and I really enjoyed making them. And I have to admit, I loved adding the little bit of extra sparkle to that one, and I may or may not have just got a little bit carried away and added some of it to the leaves on this one. And then when I had that pen in my hand, I went on to this one, and I've done the big bauble there and then different pieces. Who else does that? You only have to get this in your hand, and it's hard to let it go. Anyway, have a look here. All the bits and pieces that I cut out that I was going to show you earlier, this embossing folder, and then the aperture from this one, the little houses that I had. Sure, look, there's another card almost made already, just sitting there. And then I've got all of these other bits and pieces too, and none of those will get wasted, I can assure you. They will all be used along with this as well. So if you have a favourite out of all of that, do let me know in the comments down below. Do you like them? Do you like those colours? Do you like the style of the cards? Let me know all of that too, because I do like your input. I love to hear from you whenever I finish that. I talk to myself for a long time when I'm doing this, and then I like a little bit of feedback, if possible, at the end. I think I really love that one. That stencil, and it's so easy to use. In fact, none of those cards were difficult to make at all. So that's a real bonus when it comes to Christmas cards. But don't forget to mix and match with other sets and other dies and whatnot. Those papers are there, but you can use them with all sorts of things as well. If you have enjoyed it, don't forget to give the video a big thumbs up, because that always helps me along. It helps my channel as well. And if you haven't subscribed, don't forget to do that and hit the notification bell. Subscribing is free. It doesn't cost you anything. In fact, buying from my affiliate links, which are down below as well, doesn't cost you anything extra either. So thank you very much for watching, and until next time, happy crafting. Bye bye.